Muy buenos dias, mi gente. We are here in La Paz, and this morning we are going to kick things off right with a workout, and not your typical workout. We're going to try a workout down here on the Malecon. There's a free gym that I saw when we walked by the other day, so we are going to go check that out and hopefully get a workout in and kick this day off on the right foot. So this morning we took the van and got a car wash. She desperately needed a wash after driving over 4,000 kilometers. I think it was more like 4,500 kilometers from Canada through the US and down the Baja all the way to La Paz. So we got her washed up and now we are here on the Malecon. And look at this. Oh my God. Does it get any better than this? So something interesting happened the other day when we arrived here in La Paz and we came down to walk the Malecon at night. I was stopped by a couple police officers that were just, walking the Malecon here. And they stopped me and they said, "Do you have poop bags for your dog?" I've never, ever been asked that in any of the cities that I've ever been to. I've never been asked if I have poop bags. So that says to me that they really take pride in this Malecon and this main street, and it shows just how clean it is, how pretty it is, and pristine. They like to keep it. I really like that. So I usually struggle to walk with Mia while carrying stuff and recording videos, but I outsmarted the system today. I used this long rope that I usually use for Mia when we're parked somewhere at a campsite or at the beach, and I hook it to the van. But in this case, I have it hooked around my hips and I let Mia just pull me along. It's working perfectly. So just a little update on how things are going so far here in La Paz and the Baja. So when we were up in Ensenada, it was very, very comfortable and very easy. Now that we're down here near the Gulf, or on the Gulf in La Paz, it is a little bit challenging, to say the least. So it gets really hot at night. I don't have any air conditioning in my van, so we have to rely on fans, and we have to crack the windows, and it's been really hot, to say the least, and I've been sweating like crazy at night. I just actually took my laundry and my sheets to be washed, and we're gonna pick those up later this afternoon at 2 o'clock. But it has been a little bit of a challenge to adapt and figure things out. So we are currently in that process of adapting and figuring out what's going to work for us and how we're going to be able to manage to live down here with this heat. September and October, I understand, are some of the hottest months, and then November, December, January, February is where things cool off a little bit, but it's still hot, obviously, but the extreme temperatures tend to die off. So if we can make it a month and a half, we should be good, smooth sailing. But this first little while has been definitely a learning experience, and it's not been easy. So the other thing is my van was covered in flies. Like, as soon as we open the door or the window, the flies get in. And that's not something that I thought about before I started this. I didn't realize the flies were gonna be that big of a problem. But as soon as I open the door, Mia, stay. As soon as I open the door to the van, the flies get in. And I think that was due to having all of the bugs all over the van from the drive down. So we've got it clean. We're gonna try it out. But also we don't have any screens on the windows or the main door, so the flies can get in, and it's a bitch to try to get them out. So there's a few things that have made life challenging, but we're not giving up. We're gonna figure out a solution, and we're gonna make things work. I'm gonna let Mia swim a little bit before I tie her up beneath this tree over here while I get a workout in. Now, the other big problem that we're dealing with is the sand. This is something else that I didn't consider. Now it sounds amazing to pull the van right onto the beach and sleep on the beach and go swim in the water and then come back in the van, but one thing you don't really think about is all of that sand, especially with a dog. Every time you go in and out, all of that sand is going to accumulate all over the van in every single crevice. So that's another thing that's been a challenge. I think if it were just two people or one person, it wouldn't be too big of a problem. You can handle it, but with a dog that doesn't exactly listen to what you want it to do all the time, it's going to shake off, it's going to just drop sand everywhere. So that has been one of the biggest challenges that we're dealing with so far, but we're making it work, and we're going to figure out a good solution to all of these little problems that we're bound to come up with van life. These are just things that we're going through and learning along the way, but it's not going to hold us back. So here's the little beach gym. We got pull-up bars, we have dip bars here. So it's pretty simple, but really has the essentials that you need to get a workout in. I'm going to make the most of this, because who doesn't want to work out on the beach, catch a tan, while also getting a nice pump? If I were parked a little bit closer, then I would bring my weights over here too, to be able to lift some weights along with doing the body weight exercises here, but we're going to make the most of what we have. That's 2 rounds done. We got to go for a swim. Okay, one last round and we'll call it a day. We've come back to the van to get ourselves reorganized, and then we're gonna go find ourselves something to eat, maybe some tacos, and then a cafe to work from for a little while. I gotta give Mia some water. She's pretty thirsty. It's hot out. Sit. Come. So the other day when I walked by, there's this restaurant here, and I went to sit down as they had some decently priced tacos. I wanted to try the Marlin tacos, but only until 6 p.m. and then they become more expensive. So now it's early in the day. We're gonna pop in for a couple tacos and then carry on our way and find a cafe. It's kind of strange. I sat down and they've just completely ignored me. Nobody has come by. The guy came by sweeping and they haven't even looked at me. It's been like 5-6 minutes here and nobody's come to give me the menu or anything like that. The last time I was here, the guy walked right up to me, but for some reason, they're not paying me very much attention today. That shit pisses me off. So I had to call them over and give me the menu. And then I asked her what the Wi-Fi password is. She shows me on the menu and I try it and it doesn't work and it says wrong password. And then she says, oh, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Then tries to walk away. And I said, no, like, what's the password? Does your boss not give you the password to give to clients? So kind of a strange situation here. Doesn't really make me want to have their tacos. But yeah. They are pretty tiny little things. I just got 2 just to try it out. I'm not a huge fish eater, but these are tacos de marlin, so golden marlin. And we're gonna try them out. I'm gonna put a little bit of hot sauce on them and give these things a try. We have salsa huichol and we have habanero. I think we're gonna give this one a try. So it was 50 pesos per taco, So 100 pesos, that's about $5. So I just really wanted to try out some fish tacos. I know everybody raves about them here, so we're gonna give these ones a try. It's good. It is pretty good. It does look like there's some jalapenos in there and some peppers and some other flavoring, but it's pretty good. It almost looks like a little empanada, like what you get in Colombia or Argentina, served in this crispy empanada shell. It's pretty nice. So we just quickly popped into this little cafe to have a coffee and grab some Wi-Fi and finish up a little bit of work that I had ongoing. Wow, such a cool little street with the graffiti art. I love it. So the cafe's Wi-Fi kind of crapped out on us, so we came back here to the van for a few minutes to use the Starlink, get a little bit more work done before we go pick up our laundry. Then we'll drive up the coastline and check out the beaches and see if we can find a place to chill for a little while. Well, there we go. We got some laundry done. That was about $6. So we're gonna take a drive up the coastline here, and we're gonna go find this lookout point where we can get a view of this beautiful beach. It's a beautiful road along the coastline here, just on the outskirts of La Paz. Technically, I think we're still in La Paz, and this is where some of the most beautiful homes in La Paz are located, up on this hill. Excuse the rattling in the back. I forgot to take out the tray in my toaster oven, so it makes quite a bit of noise. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. Wow. Freaking beautiful around here. And these are the ferries that you would take if you want to go to mainland Mexico. Playa Balandra.
Continue on Baja California Sur La Paz El Tecolote for 3 kilometers.
So it looks like we have to hike a little bit. So we're gonna make our way up this mountain here. And hopefully on the other side, we will get a beautiful view of Balandra Beach. Lead the way, Mia. Doesn't she look beautiful from afar? Mia's like, there better be a damn beach up here where I can go swimming. What she doesn't know is it's just a lookout. So we're gonna have to go somewhere else to find a place for her to swim. Hard to believe, just a week ago, I was still back home in Canada, and now we really out here. We out here in the desert. Mia, how is it? She sat up there observing. Wow. Oh my God. That's it. Playa Balandra. Incredible. Look at that. Wow. All right, now to make our way back down and go find a place to camp and set up for the night. This is how she looks on the way back down, with the storm brewing in front of us. Which storm is gonna get us? This one or that one? Or are they gonna converge and make one big blast? How can you not just love that little wiggle? Look at her go. You know, this little dog has been everywhere with me over the past 5 years. I got her in Colombia. I traveled with her throughout Colombia to all kinds of places. Took her on a 9-hour ride from Bogota to Medellin on a motorcycle. Then we traveled from there, from Medellin to Canada. We've traveled through the US in the van. We've traveled to Playa del Carmen, Tulum, other places in Mexico, Mexico City. Uh-oh, she's having some troubles right now. I think she's done. Like, that's a big walk for her. Mia's like, what is this shit? I'm a swimmer, not a hiker. She really is, though. She loves the water. When she was young, she had some issues neurologically. We couldn't figure out what it was. After a brain scan, after about a year, we finally figured out what it was. She couldn't walk for that first year. And it turns out that her cerebellum was underdeveloped. And my guess is that when she was really young, she was undernourished. Maybe the mother wasn't giving very good nutrients, or since she was the runt, she wasn't able to get the nutrients she needed. So I got her when she was 3 months old, and a few weeks later I realized that she couldn't walk. So for that first year, we tried everything. Acupuncture, changed her diet, tons of vet visits, and then we finally figured out that hydrotherapy would help her. And she regained her ability to walk and her coordination and everything. So she's not huge on these big hikes. She would much rather just be in the water, swimming, and she just loves the water. I don't blame her either. You good? I think her little hips are giving out on her. She's having a hard time walking. I said dinner. I said, are you hungry? And she just took off running. That was a lot of work, huh? Yeah, you worked your butt off. Would you look at that? This beach actually has other people. And maybe some campers down at the end. And a little dog hiding out in the grass over there. I don't know why my camera's blurry right now. Not bad for a camping spot. Look at that sunset. Okay, Mia, it's finally time. Let's get in there. Well, we found a beach to set up camp for the night. We're gonna try this out. Unfortunately, the flies like to get themselves inside the van, and it's a bitch of a time to get them out. So hopefully tonight we can make do and keep them out. I think I gotta keep my doors closed and my windows closed. But anyways, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.